This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Dead Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MM The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you
And good morning and welcome to another edition of the External Bum Show. Every Saturday morning here at 9 a.m. with myself, Ralph Williams, Jeremy Ballrich, and Leo will be joining us in a few moments. It's great to have you on board this morning for another edition of the External Bum Show. And today we have a lot to talk about the championship games of this weekend for the NFL. We also are going to talk about the coaching situation and also the baseball and football Hall of Fames, which, of course, some things were announced on both ends of the spectrum as well. All right, we are in the MATA Heating and Air Conditioning Studio, 724-2010-500, MATA Heating and Air Conditioning. You ought to call MATA Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, and let's see where we're at here already. Yeah, we already got some, that's got that right, the External Bum Show. Where's Scott? Scott's not available today. All right, there we are. Hi, Jeremy, says Pencilman Sports, not Pensman, Pencilman. All right, whatever. Toodaloo. All right, so, okay, there we are. All right, now, all comments will be comments related to the topic at hand and nothing else. Any other comments will not be posted on the screen. Leo, welcome to the program. Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports.
Have a great day, guys. Jeremy, I feel for you today, bud. That was a tough one.
Oh, I'm over it now. That night, it was fine, but it let's put it this way. I wasn't fine. That was hard to watch.
Well, what was hard to watch, and I know Aaron Glenn, and this is what must have been driving him nuts. He had one and sometimes two free runners at Jaden Daniels, and they couldn't get home because this is the Michael Vick syndrome with a better pocket passer, because when he gets to full speed, it's his second step. And you just can't catch him.
I know.
So just you sit there and you watch it.
People say, "Oh, we had no pressure." I said, "No, we had plenty of pressure. We had no sacks. There's a big difference."
Yeah,
I said,
exactly.
There's the either sidestepped or rolled out of the pocket, and then he had the choice because they ran the same play, and I can't believe it burned Aaron Glenn that bad. But it was either trips left or trips right, and it was
in the bunch. Yeah.
And it was an RPO every time that they either did a bubble screen or they gave it to the running back and he'd run in the opposite direction of where Jaden Daniels was going, or Jaden Daniels would just keep it. But that burned us all night long.
Yeah, the problem is, and I said this the week before on ABC7 when Washington played Tampa. The biggest fear you have with Jaden Daniels is you're forced to play one defense, 2 high safeties, soft zone. Because if you play man, and that's what Detroit tried to do, they tried to play man all day. The problem is you lose sight of Jaden Daniels. And there is so many ways, like you said, that trips and that bunch formation, all he had to do was catch it. And right after his read on the RPO, there was somebody open because that's what that bunch does. It gives you that quick outlet. It was tough.
Hey, look at it this way. We had 4 turnovers and still scored 31 points, which is more than enough to beat any team usually.
Yep.
Okay, guys, we're going to get started with our bum segment here. We're going to have our bums. And so let's see here. All right, we're going to have draftnation.com. The bum segment's brought to you by draftnation.com. Please get a hold of them today, and they will set you up with a inbox in your inbox, a e-magazine of all their information, the skinny on every draft pick, whether it's NFL, Major League Baseball, or NHL, or the NBA, or any kind of draft. Draftnation.com, $9.99 a month is all it costs for you to put it in your inbox. Also sponsored by Scott Morgan-Ross' book, The Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning in and Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. And Scott has not joined us again this morning, but is taking a little time off. We'll let you know how much further that is. All right. We're going to start our bum segment. Leo, start with you. Your bum today.
How can it not be the referees in the Kansas City-Houston game last week? Dear God, let's stop. And again, I kind of went after the NFL because you're going to have to fix this. You cannot slide a foot away from a defender and expect not to be hit. And here's what they need to do. If the quarterback doesn't slide within a reasonable amount of time, and I even said 5 yards, make it like a down the field. If he doesn't slide before he's 5 yards from a defender, make it a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Because all he's trying to do is milk it for a penalty on the defense. The NFL needs to change that. And I saw the best post on Facebook when somebody on Monday posted a referee going, personal foul roughing the passer, and underneath it said, Buffalo just got their first roughing the passer on McCombs on Monday. Yeah, that's sad.
That was
that's
funny.
what it comes down to. Yeah.
All right, Jeremy Ballrick.
Well, Leo kind of mentioned it already, but Aaron Glenn is my bum of the week because you can't let a team score 45 points. End of story.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my bum is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Can't seem to get it right. Can't seem to win games. They're on a West Coast trip right now, and they're losing like crazy, and it's getting old. It's time for Mike Sullivan to be fired. I blame the organization of the Fenway Group for not firing this guy. He's been with the team since 2016, and I get it. He's won 2 Stanley Cups back to back. I get that. But that's back then. This is now. And right now, the Pittsburgh Penguins for the last few years, just like the Steelers and the Pirates, they stink. So there we are. That's my bum for today. All right, next we're going to go into what's that, Jeremy?
Patty Grimes came in and he gave his bum.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. Ben Johnson, yeah, and Aaron Glenn, both of them. And you know
another
what?
one in here that was nice was Christopher Cole. I don't know if you saw it.
Christopher Cole said good morning. Yes, I posted that up while we were doing the bum segment. Christopher, welcome to the program. He's a follower of the Sports Web and Peter Blake shows, and he comes on my shows once in a while and puts his comments in there. So, But Patty also comes in. We are simulcasted not only just on the Huddle Sports Network, but also on the Kneecap Biting Network as well. And I want to thank Jeremy Ballrick for that as well. All right. Let's get started with our next segment here. We're going to talk about these championship games coming up tomorrow. This segment's brought to you by Digital Data. Now, you check out my website, www.rwmediaproductions.com. It is done by Digital Data. They will do it for you at a really good price. Call them today. The price is very low for the monthly price. And when you need something uploaded, all you do is email a professional and it's done. And they email you within an hour and say, it's done. Okay. I've had some of these people before and, incompetent, but not Digital Data. Get a hold of them, digitaldata.com today. All right. All right, guys, let's get started. Championship games this weekend. Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Or I'm sorry, the Chefs. If you ever see the Snickers commercial, the Chefs. So,
Yeah.
all right. We'll start with you, Jeremy. Your thoughts on these games this weekend and your picks for this weekend's games.
I don't know if I can make them my picks because we don't know how many more refs are going to be on the field for Kansas City or not. So it is going to be more than 12 guys versus 11. But I'm going to say, screw it. I want the two teams that beat Detroit to be in the Super Bowl. I want Bills versus Washington.
All right. The Bills versus Washington. I like that pick. Leo.
Well, then you're going to hate mine because I think it's going to be Philadelphia. And sadly, I really want to see Buffalo. But playing 11-on-11 at Arrowhead Stadium against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is tough enough. But when you start having to play on 12 and 13 and 14, that gets impossible. But I'll tell you what, I can't believe that the Washington coach came out and said, we're going to go after, Hurts. If you go back and watch the play he got hurt on, it was a deliberate hit to the helmet by the defensive back. And the announcers of the NFL have completely ignored that, like it didn't happen. And he was on the ground when it happened. Now, I know if that's a running back, same thing, but you can't go helmet to helmet. I'm sorry. That can't work. But I'll tell you what, they're also saying, well, what Philadelphia has is a running game. Guess what? That running game is pretty darn good. And I have never seen a running back like Saquon Barkley get so far into the defense untouched. If you go back to when they played Washington and they lost, he had a 70-yard run, untouched. So I think Philadelphia is going to ram it down. Everybody said, well, they're going to put 7, 8 in the box. No, they're not. You can't put 8 in the box and expect to play Brown and Smith man-to-man. That's not going to happen. They're going to have to change it up. They're going to have to play different defenses. And I'll tell you what, that offensive line is really motivated to play against Washington because they felt, hey, you got lucky last time. You're not getting lucky this time. And I tell you what, you're going to go into Lincoln Financial Field? That's a home field advantage, believe me. I would like to see Buffalo get the lead. If you got to play Kansas City from behind, it's almost impossible. But I tell you what, Josh Allen has made things happen this year that just have been phenomenal. I mean, Jeremy, when he went out to Detroit, he put 41 on the board against the Lions. And that's back when the Lions...
48.
51-48, right?
Right.
Was
48-42 was the final score.
Yeah,
48-42.
And it was nuts. It was just like, I don't care what you play me on defense, I'm going to beat it. And that's what could be interesting to see.
Christopher Cole said, congratulations, Leo. Saw you on Fox 13. Congratulations to you, Leo.
Can I comment on that real quick? Guys, yesterday, I gave my 800th donation at One Blood, and I hit 100 gallons. So that's what Christopher's calling about. Christopher, thank you for bringing that up. I'll tell you what, guys, 100 gallons after 32 years and 800 donations, I'm about ready to wave the white flag now.
I bet you are.
All right. Just to reiterate, to those of you who can't hear, can't understand what I'm saying, comment section today and every show is open to those who want to comment about the topic that we're talking about. I don't want to hear anything else. Anything else, stays where it is and does not appear on the screen. Okay. So those of you out there who, for some strange reason, don't understand the English, okay, will understand when you don't get your comment posted, and then you get mad at me, and I don't need Jeremy to tell me anything. All right, Pencilman Sports. Okay, I can think for myself.
Yeah.
All right.
And then how about stop hiding behind a name? You know, we got our names out here. Why don't you put your name on it here? These internet assassins, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, I'm just not acknowledging it because I'm done with it.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but why do you donate so much blood, Leo? That is a good question.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of cheated a little bit. I did more phoresis, platelets, and you could do that once, 24 times a year. When you donate blood, you can only do that once every 6 weeks. So, and they wanted my white blood cells. The first time I did it, they said it was going to take 2.5 to 3 hours. I was done in 40 minutes. So they asked me if I could come back, and I just kept coming back.
That's awesome.
All right, here we go. Highlander Sports says, "Why do you donate so much blood, Leo?" There you go.
That's a great question. When COVID hit, and this is what gave me a reason. I got it, and the One Blood sent me a letter saying, "Well, you have COVID." I said, "How do you know?" I don't know. So we have antibodies. And I said to him, "I guess you don't want me to donate anymore." He said, "No, we want you to kick your donations up as much as possible, because people that had COVID, we are treating those with these white blood cells for people that have COVID because they already have the, immunity in there." So again, I kicked it up a notch then. But hey, it's easy. I sit there, they put a needle in one arm, a needle in the other arm, and I watch a movie for about 2.5 hours. So, hey,
wow.
So it's the least I can do to give back. Like I said, at 71 years old, I'm not going to have a lot of time to pay it forward. So I'm paying it now.
So that's where they're separating the plasma and the white blood cells when you're doing the 2.5-hour process, right?
Correct. Yeah, well, you donate blood, you're done in about 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah. They basically put it into a centrifugal force a little bit at a time. It gets spun and separated. The plasma goes in the bag, and then once it's done spinning, the other stuff comes back to you.
And it's nice because you don't have that feeling of exhaustion after you've given blood. They take the blood out of one arm, put it back in the other. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm encouraging people, donate and look into plasma, look into platelets. See if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I know someone who does it, and
I did it.
I know 2 people who do it. So, but anyway, we're sponsored by Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, our studio sponsor here at Studios 808 in the Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. All right, my pick is Washington versus Buffalo, and my reasons are simple. I don't want Kansas City to get their 3rd Super Bowl in a row, and I don't want to see, for Philly, Kenny Pickett get a Super Bowl ring. That's one of my 2 reasons why I don't want to see Kansas City or the Eagles, and I want to see something different, somebody else.
I like both of them. I like both your reasons.
Yeah.
That is some good reasons.
If Hurts can't go, there's still a question of whether it's going to be Pickett as the guy that comes in, because the 3rd team guy, he's done pretty well. So there's a little bit of consternation up in Philadelphia. If Hurts is too hurt to go, who's going to be under center?
All right, this segment here is brought to you by the original Hometown Pizza, Moon Township, 412-264-4444, right on University Boulevard. Stop by on your way to Robert Morris game. Pick up a original Hometown Pizza. Moon Township, takeout, delivery, or eat-in. The original Hometown Pizza. All right, guys, let's get started here. The coaching situation. Seems like most of the teams all have their coach, except New Orleans. Still doesn't have one. All right. The Raiders have Pete Carroll. The Cowboys have hired Brian Schottenheimer. Okay. The The Jets have hired Aaron Glenn. The Bears have hired Ben Johnson. And Jacksonville just hired Liam Cohen away from Tampa Bay. And a whole lot more. All right, guys, we'll start with you, Leo. Your thoughts on these coaching hires. Go ahead.
Let me start with Jacksonville because Peter Blake has been wearing black ever since Liam Cohen decided to leave. He's in mourning. And again, I'm going to go back a couple of years, 3 years ago, when Byron Leftwich went down and interviewed for the Jacksonville job. And he came back and he publicly comes out and says, everything in Jacksonville is gorgeous. It's beautiful, but I can't work for Trent Baalke. And I got a feeling when Peter Blake, I was on Wednesday and he's all ecstatic. He's all excited. Liam Cohen staying. I said, Peter, be careful because we don't know how that interview ended when Liam Cohen decided not to take a second interview. If he went in and said to the owner, hey, I really love everything about this place, but I can't work for Trent Baalke. The next day, Baalke got fired. And I told Peter, I said, Jacksonville's going to take another run at Liam Cohen. He said, no, they're not. The Bucs are going to sign. I said, Peter, remember, in the NFL, the contract you have becomes null and void if the job is a step up. Head coach is a step up from offensive coordinator. I think Liam Cohen will do wonders with Trevor Lawrence. Because think about it now, Trevor Lawrence, he had to suffer through Urban Meyer. Thank God Urban Meyer drafted him. But he's got some weapons around him. He's got Thomas, he's got Ingram, he's got Etne. Jacksonville, I think, a good hire. Pete Carroll's always a good hire. Always. The guy, yeah, he may be a septuagenarian physically, but in his mind, he'll get the right people in there. Schottenheimer, Jeremy, I'm going to throw this at you because I don't know how good it is to promote from within because now those players have to look at this guy in a different light. We saw that example with Todd Bowles, that it took a while for the players to think in their mind, oh, he's not the defensive coordinator, he's the head coach now. Jeremy, you're going to have to replace two guys out in Detroit. And what do you think?
I'm not worried about it.
As long as
we already have.
Everything's fine, right?
I think everything will end up fine because Dan Campbell brought these guys in to be on his staff, and he has a good idea of what he wants. He's already replaced our defensive line coach, Terrell Williams, with Casey Rogers from Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
He's already brought in Larry Foote, and who's coming back Monday for a second interview for the defensive coordinator position. The only two guys that we lost out of our assistants so far is our backup quarterback assistant coach, JT Barrett. And we also lost wide receivers coach, Antoine Randall L. And I think that one hurts a little bit more than people care to admit because they both went to Chicago to work with Ben Johnson.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And New Orleans still doesn't have a coach yet. We think maybe it could be Mike McCarthy. We'll find out. I was surprised that Pete Carroll came back. He is now with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm hearing stories right now, rumors circulating and flying all over the place that he wants to talk to this, or he wants Russell Wilson if the Steelers decide not to sign him. And that will be good for him. Now, Broski Bear and Jay are here. They have some comments. So there you are. And thank you, Jay and Broski Bear, for being part of the program as well. Appreciate it. And there you are. All right. And I want to thank you guys. I want to also thank Pencilman for being part of the program as well. So, everybody, I welcome everybody on the comments as long as it has to do with the subject that we're talking about.
I think
it'll end up clean.
Yep. And I think it will end up McCarthy with the Saints because I don't think Brian Flores will take that job. He'll walk in there, do the interview, look at the cap situation, and then walk out just like Aaron Glenn did. Because what did Aaron Glenn do? He walked out and called Woody and said, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. You know what, guys?
Absolutely.
I'm going to throw this name out to you, and maybe you can tell me why he's not getting any traction as a head coach. Ron Rivera. Why?
Yeah, Ron hasn't even been. I haven't heard anything.
because
I've heard a few interviews. And
it
that's it.
came out that after he was at Washington, that a lot of the players didn't like him as much as what they did in Carolina because he had became bitter and angry and he was treating people bad. So I think that leaves a stale taste when you see how well these player coaches are doing versus the disciplinarian.
All right, guys. All right. The coaching situation to me, I like some of the hires. The only problem is I have a problem with Liam Cohen. Not that he's not a good coordinator. I think he's stepping into something that might be a little too overwhelming for him, because he's been an offensive coordinator. Maybe he can mold Trevor Lawrence. I could be wrong. I didn't want Dave Canellis to take the Carolina job, so it seems like Tampa has to start all over with an offensive coordinator. So Leo, before we go into our next segment, what is Tampa Bay going to do to replace him?
Drop back 13 and punt, because right now their biggest losses are Foote and Rodgers. I mean, that defense was the problem. The offense, and again, the way the coordinators worked with Baker Mayfield, Canales came in and took it slow. He didn't make it difficult. He wanted something that made Baker Mayfield comfortable. Liam Cohen took it to the next level. Now we'll see what comes about. I don't know if Tampa will promote from within. I hope they will, because then they have guys that have been used to this system. I don't want to see Baker go through his third system in 3 years. That could be a problem. So, again, when you look at what's going on in Tampa, when you get to the playoffs, look at what's happening in Detroit. They start to raid your assistant coaches. And all of a sudden, you're looking for people. It's all going to be about what Todd Bowles brings in. And, Jeremy, you hit the nail on the head. Dan Campbell, he's got a culture there already. He just brings in a coach and says, okay, here's what I want to do. Are you going to be able to do this? Yes or no? Simple game.
All right, Leo. Pencilman Sports wants to know if you covered the Bolts game last night. Broski Bear says that Ron Rivera needed a time away from the game to address his health. I think he'd still make an excellent defensive coordinator somewhere. His head coaching days are over. I wouldn't mind seeing Allen or Rivera in Chicago. Allen did not take the job in Chicago. So there you go.
By the way, I didn't cover the game in person because it was in Chicago. But what a great comeback by the Lightning. They score a power play goal in the last minute. And then Kucherov gets another power play goal in overtime to win 4-3 in Chicago. But thank you for asking.
All right, there you go. All right, let's talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I'm going to read the names off, and you guys can make your comments appropriately here. And this is brought to you by Robin Campbell Insurance. This segment, 412-366-3399. Call Robin Campbell Insurance for all your needs. Listen, let me tell you something. You got to get renter's insurance, please. I have seen too many news reports of people who had issues with their landlords, who had issues in their apartment building, and they couldn't get it. They had to go to the Red Cross to get help, or they couldn't get any help. So my advice to you is take a couple minutes and maybe don't drink that cup of coffee at Starbucks that day, one day a week or something, and put that money to the side and get yourself renter's insurance. I urge you that if you rent a place, please get renter's insurance, because I don't want to see your house, your apartment on TV, on the news, to where your landlord didn't do any repairs, there's no heat or something like that. At least the renter's insurance will cover your stuff and cover you as well. Call Robin today. It's only not even $20 a month. All right, so please call Robin today and get your renter's insurance and all insurance, life insurance, car, auto, home, whatever you need. Call Robin, 412-366-3399. All right, guys, the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm going to read off the names. You guys tell me what you think. I'm sorry, Chiro Suzuki. Your thoughts on that? We'll start with you, Leo.
It's not the Hall of Very Good. It's the Hall of Fame. No.
All right. How about you,
I'm
Jeremy?
just teasing. Whoa. I'm just teasing on that. You got to be kidding. Ichiro, he should be unanimous. Come on.
Right.
This is crazy.
I was like, when I heard not the Hall of Very Good, I'm like going, I don't want to comment.
I had to throw that teaser out to see, because probably Brodsky Bear and Christopher Cole are typing so fast. Go, Leo, what are you thinking? No, Ichiro, you got to be kidding me. He should be unanimous. If a writer doesn't put him in unanimous, take away his Hall of Fame vote. Jeremy, what do you think?
I agree. I think Ichiro should get in. If not the first ballot, at least by the third at the latest. That's what I'm going to say. Because he didn't have a couple of things that a lot of the greats had. You didn't see any championships. You didn't see any of that. He has lots of great stats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Ichiro Suzuki, he was a great player. Came over to Seattle, played there for, what was it, like 12 seasons, then went to the Yankees for 3 more.
Yeah.
Like 15
I'll
total
tell you
years.
what. Yeah, if everybody talks about how he could hit, my God, you didn't take the extra base on this guy. He had a gun for an arm.
Okay, the selections for the Hall of Fame for these guys were from the class was revealed Tuesday, and then CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner. Also, courtesy of the Baseball Writers Association of America and Classic Baseball Era Committee selected Dick Allen, Dave Parker, who was not in it, which I'm quite surprised. Dave Parker was a great player for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He went to some World Series playoffs, All-Star games, had a cannon of an arm. The only problem with Dave Parker was he was involved in that drug situation back in the 80s when the Pirates had them hearings about the cocaine drugs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a problem. All right, Jeremy, your thoughts on this Hall of Fame class?
It's going to be hard to limit it to what they do. A lot of the names in there. Billy Wagner at one point was one of the best closers in the game. CC Sabathia from the Twins to the Yankees. And did he go to the Mets too?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he had a wonderful career. Got so close to winning a World Series at the Yankees. It isn't funny. I think he won in the captain's last year with them, right? And that was it.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So.
Isn't that the last time until this year? That was the last time the Yankees won the World Series too, wasn't it? It was that year when the captain retired, and then this year.
Yeah, last year they were in the playoffs for the first time in a while too. It's been a few years for the Yankees, but it was good to see. I mean, I'm not a Yankees fan, so to speak, but it was good to see them back into the game because usually the playoffs without the Yankees, you can forget about it, but it was good to see them back in the game. Spring training's coming up. Pitchers and catchers start reporting at the beginning of February, and January, some teams have what's called a baseball mini camp where they have the pitchers and catchers and some of the guys show up just so they can do that as well. All right. Someone here is asking Jeremy about your dog. I don't know if you had
I'm not
one.
doing that.
Yeah,
not doing it anymore. I stopped doing that a long time ago.
Okay.
I don't bark for anybody.
Yeah, Dave Parker won. Here we go. Joe, welcome, Joe. And I want to welcome Kingus J, and I want to welcome Joe to the program. Dave Parker won the All-Star MVP, throwing guys out, absolutely. And guess what? He stood from one position and threw him out. He didn't use his legs. His arm was so much of a cannon, he just threw it. And boom, there it went. All right, let's see here. Jay says, go Orioles. And then we have, go Marlins, says Highlander Sports. Now, we'll see what they do this year. That's it there. There we go. All right. And then Pencilman Sports says, let's go. Absolutely. Let's go. All right. Okay, guys. Next, we're going to talk about the NFL Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame here. Some guys are in it and guys are not. Like I still say I don't know why. And I've had this argument numerous times with people about Hines Ward. I just don't get it. I mean, I know his stats probably aren't where they need to be, but still, Hines Ward should at least be in this. But this segment's brought to you by Alex's Flowers, 412-661-6071. Call Alex today. Valentine's Day is coming up. Give him a call. If you live in the Pittsburgh area, he'll be more than happy to deliver to your home, to your sweetheart. Also, he does weddings, and he also does funerals as well. Alex's Flowers, 30 years in the business. Give him a call today. All right. Let's go into our comment section here, and let's see what we got. Can I see Crosby getting winded out or traded out? No. But Malkin, his contract runs out after next year, and he's going to Russia. I see them trading Letang. He wants to trade. He wants to go to Montreal or one of the Canadian teams because he wants to stay around home. And there we are there. And there we go. All right. The Football Hall of Fame. Let's talk about that for a minute. Leo, your thoughts on the Football Hall of Fame?
The biggest question is going to be how the committee looks at Eli Manning. And again, my thing is he's got one thing on his resume, but it's a big thing. He's beaten Tom Brady twice. Now, he didn't beat Tom Brady, but there's his team won twice. But after that, there's not a lot there to put on the resume. Be interesting to see how the voters look at that. And you know the Northeast media is going to push for this. I just don't know how they're going to look. I would be. I'm not putting him in on the first ballot. That's not happening. It may be down the road he gets in, but right now, with looking at who's also on that, I think Terrell Suggs is on there. I mean, these are guys that revolutionized the position. I mean, yeah, Eli won 2 Super Bowls, but after that, it's pretty mediocre year.
Yeah, exactly. They boiled it down in December to the following names here. Eric Allen, who really wasn't a bad corner. Okay, Jared Allen was a great defensive end. I mean, I don't understand that one. Also, Willie Anderson, Jerry Evans, Jari Evans, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Luke Getchley, Eli Manning, and Steve Smith Sr. And then, and then Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Adam Vinatieri, Reggie Wayne, Darren Woodson, and Marshall Yanetta. So there you go. Jeremy, your thoughts.
I truly believe that Antonio Gates is a shoo-in. He revolutionized the tight end position completely. All of a sudden, he became that guy. And there's guys on that list that it's going to be hard when you limit it down to 5 people. It's tough.
All right, Highlander says Eli is in, and then
hey Alan, you want a bit of pizza on that one?
There you go.
I actually will. I think he is in. I think he gets in first ballot because there are so many writers out of the New York media market. I think it'll be enough to get him in unanimously. But at the same time, Joseph Austin made the comment, Aikman is in the hall, so Eli should be too, because Aikman's regular season numbers weren't all that great. As a quarterback, they had great team success. And he's absolutely right.
All right, Joseph, thank you for being part of the program. I want to thank everybody today who's been on the comment section. Do I think Eli should be in the Hall of Fame? No. There is a solid case to be made for him to make the Hall of Fame. Yes, my prediction is he gets it eventually, but first and second ballot. All right.
I'll
thank you, Highlander. Highlander.
Pitt gets in before Eli. Remember, I said that here first, guys.
Right. Yes, you did. So, all right, guys, let's get into our local segment here. Guys, for the local, you tell us what's going on. We tell you what's going on in the local segment. But before we do that, I'm going to give my Hall of Fame thing. I'm not happy about Hines Ward and James Harrison from the Steelers not moving on. James Harrison wasn't a bad linebacker. He had he won. He was in 2 Super Bowls, and I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But the problem is, I think that some of the writers just didn't think of him. Hines Ward, on the other hand, was more of a blocking wide receiver, and a lot of people question his stats. But you know something, Hines Ward, as much as it is, has developed some. Excuse me, has developed. There were rules developed because of him blocking some of the things that he's done over the years, and then smile at you. I get it, but Hines Ward should be in the Hall of Fame. He's another one that won 2 Super Bowls as well, and he did pretty well in both of them. So I think that Hines Ward, excuse me, should be in it. But this class here, I like this class. I think it's pretty decent. I don't have any questions about it. You know what I mean? As far as some people, Broski Bear says Aikman is a player who sacrificed personal numbers for team success. Absolutely. Eric Allen was one of the smoothest cornerbacks I ever seen. Not sure if he gets in the Hall of Fame, though. Gates should be no question about it, like Leo said. And then we have.
I personally feel that there's 3 that will get in, and there's 2 that should get in and probably won't. Torrey Holt being one of them. I think it's a travesty because what Torrey Holt was doing back with the greatest show on turf, you hadn't seen a number 2 wide receiver do.
No, he did some stuff with that offense, Jeremy, that was just crazy, and he had a good quarterback in Kurt Warner. They had the greatest show on turf, as you mentioned, Dick Vermeil, Mike Martz. What a great Rams football team at the time, and Torrey Holt does deserve to be in. All right, let's go into our local segment here. Our local segment here is brought to you in part by, let's see here, Fold & Travel Mobility. Hey, look, if you are handicapped as I am, and you need a folding power wheelchair to put in your vehicle, call foldandtravelmobility.com or get on their website, foldandtravelmobility.com, 1-877-GOT-FOLD, 1-877-GOT-FOLD. Tell them Ralph Williams sent you. Fold and Travel Mobility, folding power wheelchairs. They have financing available, and they have folks on the chat that will talk with you that have over 20 years experience, not somebody just started a month ago. They have over 20 years experience in the power wheelchair business that could tell you exactly the right model for you. And they have specials. Check out some of their specials as well. foldandtravelmobility.com. All right. Okay, Jeremy, you're local. Start with you first. And I know about your Detroit Lions. Sad to hear that they laid an egg, for the playoffs.
It is
last
what it
week.
is. Like I said, I do this every day, so I covered it for 5 days. So after 2 days of talking about that loss, I was pretty much done with it, for my own mental sanity. But 50 years ago, as of September 6th, a certain young guy sitting in front of you had his first appearance in the paper. There I am, standing next to my father in the doorway of kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
I went to Beecher Daily, which is a very ethnic persuaded school. And It was funny that they chose to focus on us. You know what I'm saying? In the paper. And I was famous before I even knew what famous was, because that was the cover of the Metro section of the Flint Journal.
All right, Leo, you're local.
Well, what's happening down here is the Lightning have been on the road so long, they may have to get a passport to get back into Tampa. I tell you, wow. Back-to-back in Toronto and Montreal, then another back-to-back, Chicago and Detroit. Chicago last night, the Red Wings tonight. And then Chicago and Detroit come back down here. The hockey schedule is so discombobulated because they're trying to do that Four Nations thing in the middle of February and they're going to shut down. So you're going to see right now in January, March, and April, a really condensed schedule. Teams will be playing pretty much every other night. And that's what's going on down here. USF, the women got snowed out and couldn't go down Wednesday to play. They're both up in Greenville, North Carolina, taking on East Carolina today. Then they get back to Yingling Center on the 28th to the 29th, and the Lightning come home next week as well for a couple games here. That's what's going on in Tampa Bay.
All right, in Pittsburgh here, and I have a word, starts with an N. You know what it is? Nothing. The Steelers have done nothing. The Pirates are going to do nothing. And the Penguins have done nothing. Okay? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. And one time, when I used to DJ full-time, I was DJing a Relay for Life event. And somebody came to me and said they wanted to hear Ricky Martin out of Villa Loca. And I said, he's done nothing. Because he hadn't done anything for a long time. And I say, he's done nothing. So I've been saying that for years. When somebody does nothing, I go, he's done nothing. They've done nothing. And it's funny because of the way I say it. And so Pittsburgh sports has done nothing. The Steelers have done nothing. But one good piece of news was that Art Rooney II went down to Mike Tomlin's office and did the little tap on the door. Somebody's getting fired. Because when he does that tap on the door, that means somebody's getting fired. That Mike Tomlin doesn't want to fire because he's friends with them. He's friends with Terrell Austin. And I think Terrell Austin may be getting fired because there's some good defensive coordinator candidates out there, okay, that I think the Steelers might hire or that, so, all right, here we go. Broski Bear said, have a great day, Ralph, Leo, and JB. Thank you, Broski Bear. Oh, and then let's see what we got here. Maybe they should get a new hobby then and more. Okay, there we go there. All right, then we said even high school, Jaden Daniels. Yes.
You know what, guys? I think that the Washington Commanders should definitely send a playoff share to the Chicago Bears because the fact that they were the only one of 32 teams that thought Caleb Williams was better than Jaden Daniels. I mean, you didn't think that the Bears could be dumber than when they took Trubisky over Mahomes and Watson, but they proved they were. It's Dumb and Dumber in Chicago. That's for sure.
You know what's interesting, though? Dumb as a box of rocks.
Yep. Yeah.
In Chicago.
And my brother Tom, who covers the Chicago stuff for Amped Up Sports, he said the biggest problem is the McCaskey family. They squeeze the nickel so hard the buffalo bites the Indian in the butt. So, yeah.
Or like his head comes out.
They're on the cheap, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what's interesting, too? So, all right, here we go. Here, okay, there we go. It says, so that would move him down on my draft board. All right. We'll be talking here on this program about the NFL draft as we go. I am going to be going out and getting some information on who's available, what's going on. The Combine's coming up soon, and the NFL Network will be having that. Just days and days and days at a Combine. I don't sit there and watch it all, but I do watch some of it. It's actually a little bit interesting to see what's there. I'm able to see some players that I like or want to look at. The Senior Bowl as well. I like to watch that because I can find some players. I had two of them on my board that I wanted the Steelers to pick, but the Ravens got both of them, and they have improved their line of scrimmage with both of them, and everyone laughs at me about it. But Travis Jones from Connecticut is a pure nose tackle and does everything, stuffs the run every time for the Ravens. And Mike Falella, who's their offensive lineman there, he plays right tackle, and I got to tell you, he does or right guard. He does a very good job. He weighs about 360 pounds, and nobody gets by him. And and I think the Steelers made a big mistake by not shoring up their lines of scrimmage. Okay, guys, scores real quick for this week's championship game. Jeremy, we'll start with you. Scores.
31-28. Washington over Philly. And I think the Bills need to come out fast and score fast. They need to get up big. If they leave it as a one-score game, the disparity of penalties versus called versus one team or the other in Chiefs games in the playoffs, they played 11 playoff games, right?
Yes.
It's 4 penalties for the opposing team and 18 for the Chiefs in game-changing plays, ones that create first downs and lead to more points because they extend drives. And it has equaled a total of 18.38 points on an average, and they win the games by 3 points on an average. You do the math.
All righty. Leo, scores.
I think Philadelphia and Washington is going to be low scoring because Eagles are going to run the ball. They're going to try to keep Jaden Daniels on the sideline as much as possible. I think that game is going to be a field goal fest because teams are going to get close enough to kick field goals. I truly believe it's going to be 27-20 Eagles. Now, Kansas City, Buffalo, man, that's a tough one to call. And as Jeremy alluded to, all depends on what the Zebras do. Again, they're just, I go back to the Cincinnati game when that horrific fourth down pass interference penalty was called on the Bengals. When the guy was playing the ball. In fact, it hit him in the face and they called pass. Wait a second, he's got as much right to the ball as the offensive receiver. But again, Jeremy, you hit the nail on the head. Buffalo's got to get the lead. They got to play with the lead, and they got to stay in the lead. And I think this is going to be a point fest. 38-30, Buffalo.
Okay. All right, Jeremy, I got you. So
Yep.
There you go.
I just want to say goodbye. Thank you, everybody. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. I have some personal business to attend to, and I will see you all next week on here, and I'll see you Monday on my show.
All right,
Jeremy,
when you get a moment, we need to the discussion we had last night about for Tuesday and all that.
Yeah, no problem. We'll talk.
Okay, we need to get together so we can get that going. Sports Corner Show is possibly going to be simulcasted on 2 different networks, as well as the Huddle Sports Network. We're going to be simulcasted on the Lions Network with Jeremy Smoke and Jeremy B, and the South Florida Tribune Network as well. So we're moving up with the Sports Corner Show every Tuesday, 4 to 5 p.m. right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms, and also on the here we are here, also on the Huddle Sports Network on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and more. All right. Also, Wrestle Talk is also on the same networks. Check that out, 5 to 6 p.m. every Tuesday. And today, this afternoon, the last show of the triple header of Ralph. It started this morning, and now we're in the second show, and the third show's 2 to 3 p.m., 12:50 a.m., 92.5 The Answer. Ralph Williams, Smoke, and Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree, and the Sports Corner radio show. And don't forget, every Saturday as well, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Ralph Williams Show. Next week, I have, for the February 1st show, another, I have Tony Moreno, who will be joining me. He announced yesterday, he's running for mayor of the city of Pittsburgh under the Republican banner, and he'll be running as well. Leo, while we're here, do you have anything you want to add? Anything you want to talk about? We still have a couple minutes.
We got to talk about the Monday night game, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
I forgot about that, the national championship game. I thought it was a good game, considering I thought Ohio State came out, moving the ball. Al Golden is supposed to be moving on somewhere, going to the NFL, I believe. And they're the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame. That's going to be a big loss and a big hit for Marcus Freeman. Your thoughts on this game, Leo?
Well, you know what, Ralph, in August on your show, I picked Ohio State to win the national championship. So, I rode that horse till the end. I was amazed that Notre Dame came back. They had plenty of chances to just jump both feet in the grave and mail it in. They got that game close. And, give Chip Kelly and Ohio State a lot of credit. It's third down
Thank you, Hollander.
And
Okay. Yeah, Donkey Kong just joined. Okay, go ahead, Leo. I'm
yeah,
listening. Go ahead.
he hits that long pass because if that's incomplete, all of a sudden Notre Dame's got the ball back, chance to tie. So that was a gutsy call by Chip Kelly. And I'll tell you what though, I picked Ohio State to win the NCAA. I picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So I'm still hanging in there. So I'm going to see what happens there. But Ralph, I tell you what, it's sad that the NBA is getting basically no traction now because
No, no.
it's brutally hard to watch as guys pass up 2-foot layups to throw it out for a 3-point shot. It's
Yeah.
just like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, the NBA has become a joke, Leo. I stopped watching it after Jordan left. I haven't followed it for a long time and choose not to, but I'm going to start slowly getting back into it. So in case, I get on some national podcast and somebody wants to talk about NBA, you know what I mean? And so on. I don't really, like I said, get into the NBA at all, because of, it's a joke. It's a big sideshow. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't get into it.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw this out for your listeners.
Go ahead.
Everybody talks about the GOAT. I want you to go out and look at video of Wilt Chamberlain. You will not have any question about who the GOAT is after looking at that. Also,
Right.
look at his statistics. Wilt would decide what he wanted to lead the league in every year. Wilt led it in rebounds. He led it 1 year in assists. He led it 1 year, 2 years, a ton of years in scoring. And he led it 1 year in minutes played. Think about this now. Do the math. 48 minutes in an NBA game, right, Ralph?
Yes.
Wilt averaged 48.05 minutes 1 year. He
Wow.
played every second of every game. Tell me Jordan, tell me LeBron, tell me anybody's done that. Go look at those stats before you make a comment. Go look at some of the video of Wilt back when he came up in the league. Here's the guy 7-1 leading the break. I'll tell you what, your thought process will change in a hurry. That's your homework for the week, folks.
All right, Leo, thank you once again for, excuse me, being on the show. And you're invited on Tuesday, if you're not doing anything, on my Sports Corner show, 4 and 4:30 slots I have available if you're interested.
Yeah, just text me, let me know. Tuesday's a good day for me.
Yeah, Tuesday, if you'd like to come on. How about, it'll be after 4 because we do our opening segment. So it'll be a little after 4, but I'll pencil you in for this Tuesday. So we'll talk about the championship games, what Tampa's up to, and so on. So,
Book it, Dano.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had Harry the Greek on last week. So, so.
We had, I don't know if you heard, Ralph, but we had Seneca Wallace on Wednesday night. You want to get
I saw some of it. I wasn't feeling very well, so I didn't come on with Peter for the wrestling segment like I normally do.
Yeah.
So,
we had Seneca on for about 45 minutes, and I'll tell you what, his insight is phenomenal. So, but Ralph, always a pleasure to be on with the hardest working media member in Pittsburgh.
I am. You're right. You're exactly right. I'm the hardest worker, but I don't get the respect I deserve. But I don't care because I know that I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's it. So, I'm sort of the redheaded stepchild. I call myself Pittsburgh's forgotten son sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. But all right, Leo, thank you very much for being part of the program as always. And we'll talk to you on Tuesday. Thank you.
Take care, buddy. I'll put it on the calendar right now. Have a great weekend, Ralph.
You too. Thank you. That was Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports. He'll be joining me Tuesday on the Sports Corner Show. And for Leo Haggerty, Jeremy Ballrich, I'm Ralph Williams. Till next week for another edition of the External Bum Show. Have yourself a great one. Thank you.